Roman Dolidze. Thank you so much, sir, for doing this interview.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen each other. It's been a while. Anyway, so Roman Dolidze here, current UFC competitor. He's almost, you could say, he's just like been an overnight sensation that's come in to the UFC at such a not your typical age that you would come in for this sort of sport, and he's come in and just taken it to a different level and showcased like some really cool skills inside the octagon. And just backtracking, Roman Dolidze. So, what were you doing before MMA as a profession, or what were you doing as a hobby? Was MMA always the choice, or did it just come out of nowhere?
I started. I always was in sport. It was first, if I remember correct, Kyokushin karate. After I was a long time playing soccer, I was goalkeeper. And after time, I decided to do education in Ukraine. And like that, I started doing grappling.
Yeah, okay.
And from grappling, if I remember correctly, I was 28 when I started doing MMA.
Wow. So the grappling actually started, it was, you said earlier.
Also late, 22.
22.
Yeah.
22 started grappling, and then so you look 6 years later, 28 years old, and you thought, you know what? I'm gonna start learning stand-up and going into MMA.
No, it wasn't like this. They just offered me because I already was a world champion. I won a lot of things. I won Europe, ADC trials, and they asked me to do like maybe I want to do MMA.
Yeah.
I said, why not? Let's try.
Let's give it a go. Yeah.
Everything happened very fast. After 2 years, I already get the UFC contract. 6 fights.
Wow. Okay, and the biggest shock for me, I think, was that you never had a coach.
Never.
That whole time, and you've just gone on one
Let's
trials.
say like I started with coach, but there was some things what I don't want to say about.
Okay.
But after like 6 months, I opened my own gym.
Okay.
I started my own training.
Okay.
Because I felt that things need to be a little bit different. And I started doing my own training with my own students. I can't say that everything was very smooth, but little by little. I think I won the Ukrainian championship after 6 months after
That's incredible.
I started, and from there I never lost. I think Ukrainian championship.
And was the ADCC ever on your radar? Like, was that always a plan to do that, or someone just said, "Hey, look, I think you're going to do really well in the ADCC if you want to go to that"?
I was a grappler first of all, and I like leg locks. For sure, ADCC is a place where you can do a lot of leg locks, and that's why for every jiu-jitsu or grappling competitor, it's like the best place to put their desire to be in the ADCC. And that's why I wanted to be the best. And we all know that ADCC is the highest level of jiu-jitsu and grappling.
Exactly, yeah. If you want to prove your skills, ADCC is the place to do it and to showcase. You obviously were a trials winner. You went up against Yuri Shamoy, and it was by 1 point.
I lost in 1 point. Takedown.
And again, like just to showcase the fact that after 6 years experience, mainly teaching yourself and like grappling with fellow practitioners, and you've just gone and entered the first bout with such a high level practitioner who has been coached majority of his life for jiu-jitsu, and it's almost like a big statement for that. I think that's a really.
I don't think so, because if I would win,
if you won,
yes,
of course.
I think. And I always thought that second place is not a place.
Yeah, okay.
You are a winner for number one, or no.
So now,
I always say you get lucky that you didn't see this guy, you didn't meet this guy in the beginning of competition.
Yeah.
That's why second place also doesn't count now.
MMA, for you, when you started at 28 years old, there was other organizations obviously that you would be fighting under their banner. How many fights did it take for you to get go to the UFC? And how did that happen?
6 fights, and I only fought in Ukraine.
Okay.
And 5 fights I fought in WWFC. Very big organization for that time.
Okay.
And they did really good job. And probably because of them, I'm in UFC, because they was always bringing for me like good opponents.
Okay.
Hard guys. Last 2 fights was like I had like 5 fights and the other guys have 16 fights and stuff.
Oh
like
wow. Okay.
that. No, I had 4 fights.
So they were testing you like really early.
Not like texting. I was just telling them that I'm ready.
You're ready.
And I'm ready
Okay.
for high level guys.
Okay.
And I never thought that I will be in UFC because I never thought that they are watching like me and my fights and stuff like that. But after my 6th fight, I already got contracts. They asked me
Yeah.
to make contracts with ONE FC,
Yeah.
Rising
Yeah.
from Japan, and also last UFC offered me, and of course I was ready.
You were gonna pick the that's quite an easy choice to make. I mean, that's the spotlight. If you're talking about grappling, ADCC is at the top, and a lot of people's opinion, and myself included, in MMA, UFC is up there with like
For sure,
some of the best.
UFC is best organization,
Yeah.
especially when my first fight happened. It was the COVID time, and UFC did such an amazing job. They made this fight island, and
Okay.
we all fought there, and our world was shut down. They travel us from around the world.
They still made
And
it
they
happen.
made big things for us, especially for fighters. It's our income, and they was paying us salary and such a hard time. And of course, I'm very thankful.
Yeah. This leads me to my next question, because you said something earlier about how the UFC, 3 organizations, including the UFC, wanted you to sign a contract. So when this happened, obviously it was an easy decision, and we discussed why. It's one of the top, but also, what was your plan going in? Like, did you expect everything to happen so fast? Like you said yourself, you didn't really expect to be going into the UFC, but moving forward, where are you at now? Like, what's your plan? Like, you're 5 fights in the UFC now. So what's your plan moving forward? What are your goals in the UFC?
I just want to be first, as always. I don't have other plans at all. I don't care who will be my opponent. I just want to win every fight, and at the end, I want to be a champion.
Amazing, really good.
Of course. Why? What other? I don't have other thoughts. I don't understand people if someone have other thoughts in their head. If you are there and you are not, I always say, if a soldier doesn't try to become a general, he doesn't worth nothing.
Yeah, okay. So you're showcasing that winner's mentality, and you want to make it to the top.
Of course.
Amazing.
If my body will allow, I will fight as much as possible.
Yeah, you're gonna be carrying that strap one day for the Georgians and for yourself.
Yep.
Very good. Amazing. So Roman, so now we're in the UFC. You've had your 5 fights. Can we talk about the move from light heavyweight to middleweight, and also the sequence of your
Probably
your
want to know
fights?
why I moved. First of all, we talked that I never had coach and I never trained like I need to train. And when I get there, I won 2 fights in light heavyweight, and I decided I'm cutting not much weight. I was cutting like 1 kilo. I was cutting sometimes 2 kilos, and I thought it's not professional to be in UFC and doing these things. And I decided it will be better for me, for my career, to start cutting weight. And that was the reason why I make this decision. Not because I was not like enough powerful for a light heavyweight or something else, or I lost or something. No, I just decided to be more professional.
I never understood how that worked, because some guys you see. So right now you're cutting. Can we talk about this? You're cutting like 6 to 8 kilos. You said?
Sometimes I'm cutting 10 kilos. Sometimes I'm cutting 8 kilos.
Yeah.
Depends. Now I'm eating clean. Way better than I was doing before. And probably it will be 9-10 kilos.
Let's talk about the sequence from moving to middleweight. How did you feel? First opponent to the most recent, where you had that extraordinary knockout against the cage, which I definitely didn't want to be the other guy. I don't think anyone would wish for that. I hope he's well, but amazing knockout. Amazing knockout. So from the first fight to the most recent.
First fight, I didn't think that I lost that fight, but it was decision. I never take excuses. First of all, let's start from this. Maybe I didn't done enough for show to judges that listen, you need to give the win 100% to me. Let's start like that. It's my fault. But also, it was my first experience of cutting weight, and I make mistakes. But I understand now, and I'm cutting now weight completely different.
Okay.
and probably you can see how I was that fight. I was skinny. I was like not didn't have. It wasn't same Roman like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a different. Yeah, you've gone to Roman 2.0. You've progressed into.
And after I found out the ways how to do it correctly, better, and now I'm cutting way easier way, and have more experience in it, and it's very important when you are first starting cutting weight.
Of course.
And second fight in middleweight, I just grappled, and people didn't like it. I can understand them, but still, it was very important for me to secure that win. And now I just showed them that, hey guys, listen, I can knock people out, and if someone don't like it, I always say now they can watch my after fight interview, and I said them what I want to say.
I think I saw that. And you mentioned a couple of people and a couple of reporters and some ex-UFC fighters who are currently interviewing in the UFC. But Michael Bisping, if you were listening,
Bisping didn't do nothing like bad or wrong. He just said that I will not earn fans like that. People will not like this that stuff. I can understand him, but I just wanted to tell him too that look, I can knock people out.
You can knock people out, exactly. So more or less, you were addressing the opinions of a collection of people. You weren't addressing someone in particular.
For that year, I didn't fight after that fight 1 year because of some reasons. This year, people was all, he can fight, he can only grapple and stuff like that, and it was very important for me to win this fight. I didn't, of course, I respect all my opponents, and I never thought that I will knock them out or something like that. But I was ready to work striking, more striking, and I wanted to make it like bloody fight.
You were ready,
but it happened like it happened. And now I think everyone sees it. I have dangerous power in my hands, and anytime I can knock them out.
Yeah, you would have wanted to catch those hands.
Not only hands, knees and legs.
Knees and legs, yeah. I mean, that last fight with the knee was... I had to watch it a few times, and the timing was perfect. And I feel like I actually did watch another fight. I can't tell you exactly which one it was, but I did notice you were going for the same sequence in that fight. And then I feel like, did you ever work upon that? Did you ever work on that and think, you know what, next fight, I'm going to get this knee?
No, it's quite hard to like make positions like that to think that you will knock someone out like this, because it's not so easy to do it. That's why I didn't work on it, but I'm always creative during sparring and wrestling, grappling. That's why it just happened like that.
Do you consider yourself more of a martial artist, or do you consider yourself a fighter? Because just to add a little bit of sauce on that, is because the way you came into fighting, it's not, for me, hearing your story, it's like, okay, you're not a guy who's like been brought up in martial arts per se, and it's your passion, it's your life, it's everything. You've come off a football field and have exactly, and soccer, I'm not sure if they call it soccer or football here. So soccer, also Australia.
In Georgia, we call it football.
Okay, so
I think it's smart to call it football, because ball and foot.
Well, it makes sense, right?
It's soccer.
So everybody gets angry at us in Australia for saying soccer, because we also say soccer. But anyway, so coming off the football pitch. So when you're coming off the football pitch, and then you've just, like, I feel like you need to, I personally think you need to be a fighter for that. Maybe you didn't know it earlier, but all of a sudden you've just taken the bull by the horns, and you've gone, you know what, I'm in here, I'm ready to go, you know? So I feel like that separates you from, I mean, does that separate you from being a martial artist, or are you a fighter?
I understand your question, but I will answer a little bit different.
Okay.
I think that first of all, I'm the man. And for me, I was raised like there are certain things what men will need to have. He need to be strong, he need to, if he said something, he need to do it. And if he's starting something, he need to be best in it. And first of all, that's the thing what I am like trying to be in my life. That's why anything what I'm doing, it's MMA or grappling or something else. Now I'm doing business also. Okay. With fighting, I'm trying to be best. I'm trying to do my best to do everything correctly, and I can't be a second. I can be like in the middle. I want to be on the top of the mountain.
Yeah, good man. That's a nice answer. That was a really good answer. Next question and final, just closing the book. And afterwards we can continue to chat if you'd like to do so. Your plans for the UFC. Look, a lot of guys go in there. You told me you're going to be number one. You've got a champion's mentality, and you're a fighter. But what's the plans thereafter? Do you have any plans? Obviously, anything that you don't want to disclose, don't. But what's your plans after UFC? How do you see the future panning out?
First of all, yes, I want to make everything what I can do in the UFC. And of course, we have a lot of other time, half of life, left after sport. And I'm already doing some steps to get ready for that time. I opened in Batumi grocery store.
Okay.
I'm trying to do it also like I want to see, like correctly everything and beautiful, like I see it.
Okay.
And other things also, I'm trying to buy a lot of other places for businesses.
Okay, cool.
And investing money. I'm not buying cars. I want, but
so you're trying not to splurge?
Yes, because it's very easy to spend money on something and after you have nothing in your hands.
It's important to be smart financially, I suppose, and yeah, it's obviously like spending all your money as quick as it comes in. It's not the best bet, but that's good. So you got your head screwed on. There's more to the man than just fighting. That's amazing. And also one last question: how do you fare at chess?
How do you what?
How do you fare at chess? Are you good at chess? You think?
No, I think I can be better.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys who are playing way better than me.
Yeah.
I'm doing first steps.
Yeah.
I was playing when I was a kid, but I didn't like it. I thought I didn't like it at all. But now I'm really spending a lot of time playing chess.
Okay, amazing. And how do you feel that?
I think you felt.
That's the part that I didn't want him to say. 2-0, 2-0, best out of 3 chess games. And Roman Dolidze here is
3 chess games?
Best out of 3, and you won 2. So
I won.
More or less, you made me look really bad at chess. That's all I want to say about that.
It's part of life.
It's part of life. I'll live and I'll learn. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for this interview. And yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.